Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kids TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, before I get into this evening's topic, if you will, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you represent, and let us know if you the man or the woman that you proclaim to be. As somebody hit me up, oftentimes people hit me in my email, realkenstv at Yahoo, realkenstv at Yahoo. I say Real Kens. I say Real Kens, what do you think about this No Limit Records versus Cash Money Records versus that's going on October the 25th? That's one of those things that it's a very, very touchy subject. But before I get into that, I want to kind of venture left, and I want to talk about Turk, former Hotboy, former Cash Money millionaire. I know some of you might be like, well, Kens, what do you mean former? I was online, I believe it was yesterday, and pretty much Turk renounced. I renounced my throne. Remember what Eddie Murphy said in Coming to America? I renounce my throne. I forget his character name. Y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know what his character name. Akeem. He's no longer a Cash Money millionaire. He's whatever his record label's called. I don't even, his movement or whatever. And I'm not hating. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But he renounced his throne. He's no longer a Cash Money millionaire. My personal opinion on Turk, I like Turk. I see where he's going with it, so this is absolutely no hate. But I think that Turk is getting the wrong advice. I think that Turk has the wrong people in his ear. And I think that Turk thinks a little bit too much of himself. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have the highest confidence in yourself, but I think that Turk gets a little beside himself. Maybe that was the correct thing to say. So we're going to rewind that. Manual rewind that Hassan Campbell stole from me, allegedly. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. I think that Turk gets a little beside himself, and I think that he's bigger. He in his mind, he's bigger than what he really, truly is. First of all, Turk, you're 44 years old. You're a rapper. Not saying that rappers can't rap at 44 years old. I'm not saying that. But whoever's in your corner is not giving you good advice. Your wife, no disrespect whatsoever, shouldn't be your manager, bro, because there's too many feelings that are involved. Too many personal feelings that she knows about, you know about, and it's affecting your business. See, I can take this thing all the way back to where a couple years ago, year and a half ago, you were calling for a Cash Money reunion tour. You said, if I speak positive, I'm going to speak it into existence. I prayed on it. I know this is going to happen. And lo and behold, it came around, and the quiet whispers turned into reality. Cash Money millionaires are getting back together for a 30-year reunion tour. Just, it was one problem. You weren't included. You weren't included, Turk. You got Lil Wayne. You got BG, just came home from prison not too long ago. You got Juvenile. All these individuals have had platinum records, multi-platinum records. You got Birdman. You got Manny Fresh. But nobody was screaming Turk. Nobody was talking Turk. And you were going B-High. Y'all go check out B-High. He's out of Atlanta. B-H-I-G-H. He's a nice, I watch his channel quite often. And you would get on his channel and talk about this so much to where perhaps you did speak it into existence. I don't know. You found yourself on this tour. You had people such as Juvenile that came public and said, man, I want my little bro Turk on the tour. Wayne came out. He didn't do it publicly, but Wayne came out and said, man, it ain't a Hotboys reunion tour if it's not Turk. Birdman wasn't Beezy. He wasn't fooling with you. Birdman wasn't fooling with you. I don't know you personally. I don't know none of these guys personally or whatever. But allegedly, and going off of what you said, you did almost 9 years in the pen, 8 years and 6 months and how many days or whatever. Not one of them guys helped you out, according to what you said. These dudes is multi-millionaires. Nobody helped you out. Didn't send you no commissary. Didn't give your wife no bread for you. None of that. So you came home feeling some type of way, and I get it. Trust me. I never did 8.5 years straight. I've done over 11 years in the Kentucky Department of Corrections. But it was different times. 3 different, occasions, if you will. So when you come home, it's like, man, F the world. It's just me and my boo, my wife, man. My wife, she rode with me the entire time. From what I understand, from what you mentioned, your wife hadn't even been with you a couple months before you even went to prison, and she stuck by your side the entire time. You came home, you had the trials and tribulations. You didn't have no money when you came home. People were shouting you out in songs, but nobody put you on their record. Nobody sent you no bets. Nobody had you no bread waiting on you when you came home. You and your wife, y'all stuck it out. Y'all rode it out or whatever. You had 2 beautiful little girls, twins. Beautiful, beautiful twins. She ended up, unfortunately getting sick. I think she had some form of cancer, respectfully. You nursed her through it. You was there by her side the whole time. Nobody helped you. I understand, Turk. I may not understand. I don't fully feel your pain, but I understand how it is when you come home and when you've been in and nobody helps. I get it. I totally understand where you were coming from. So you had to do what you had to do to get your name back in the atmosphere, the algorithm, or whatever you want to call it. You've been gone almost 9 years. Nobody really thinking about Turk like that. No disrespect, but time waits on nobody, including me. You sued Birdman. Rightfully so, because from what I understand, Birdman was he was on some BS. You all settled, gave you a certain, well, not gave you, but paid you, probably nowhere near what he owed you. But because you a real G, you ain't really trying to go through this whole court process, but I'd rather sue you and go through the court process opposed to dealing with it in the streets, because that's going to take me away from my family. And it could take you away from this earth. Just depends on how it plays out. So now Birdman no fool with me. Well, his big brother Slim, co-owner of Cash Money Records, if his little brother Birdman don't fool with me, but guess what? He don't. Juvie's doing his thing. Manny Fresh is doing his thing. Everybody's doing their thing. Wayne is doing their thing, or his thing. Somehow the signals got crossed to where you came home and then BG went in, and BG went and did 12, 13 years, however many years he did, 11 years, 11 and a half, whatever. Something about some t-shirts, and you were supposed to be selling t-shirts, and the money was supposed to go to BG, free BG or whatever. I don't know. I'm just going off of what you've said. So now BG feels some type of way. Turk didn't hold me down. BG comes home. He's kind of playing Turk to the left. Birdman's there to pick him up, from the penitentiary. Puts a Cash Money Records chain, on his neck. Puts, some money in his account or whatever. Everything's cool. All the while, Turk's looking at this like, damn, man, y'all, you bless me like what they call it in New Orleans, Joseph. You ain't Joseph me. I think that's what they call it. You ain't Joseph me, like, basically saying you didn't bless me like that, but you blessed BG. I'm a hot boy just as well. So it's friction. Turk feels some type of way, but Turk ain't no hater. He's like, you know what? Cool. But then BG allegedly started, saying, I'm not going to say throwing darts, but he started to speak his mind about how he felt about Turk, and then Turk started to speak his mind. So there was a ongoing friction between the two. And these dudes may not like each other, can't stand each other, but at the end of the day, they're brothers. I don't think it would ever come to any sort of violence. It would just be, you know what, bro? Stay over there, man. Stay on over there. And I'm going to stay over here. We going to say what we going to say, but it's never going to go to that, that level, because at the end of the day, we are brothers. Brothers fight sometimes. Kept going back and forth in the media or whatever. But it was one thing that I noticed, and a lot of people noticed, Turk was the main one that was really, really talking. BG would say things from, time to time. And I'm not being biased. I'm not trying to take up for BG. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't listen to Cash Money at this point. No slight, but I did that in the 90s and early 2000s. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm just calling it for what it is. Turk was the one that seemed to be, I don't necessarily want to say agitating, but he was talking about it the most. Now, this is what you have to understand. We're in the era of the internet, algorithm. Turk had to remain relevant. So guess what? He has to say these outrageous things in interviews so that people will see the video and share it. I mean, you see what Turk said, and we'll get headlines. BG had been locked up 12, 13 years. He didn't really know a lot about the internet. He was a millionaire walking right out of prison. Turk's still getting it from the mud. He's grinding, man. I've been out here all these years. As I mentioned, Turk feels some type of way. Like, damn, man, Birdman just blessed him with $1 million and I've been out here all this time, and you ain't gave me nothing. Not that any man owes you anything, but technically, BG probably felt as though Birdman owed him something, even though they had some sort of a settlement. No Limit Records was on tour. They selling out all throughout the South. Wherever Master P and the No Limit Soldiers go, they selling out. 20,000, 22,000. You need to tell me if the Hotboys got back together, one of the biggest artists ever in hip-hop history, Lil Wayne, top 5 ever. You mean to tell me that we're not going to get together and sell out? They put this tour together. They start doing little, small dates or whatever. But they were trying not to include Turk. And Wayne stepped in and said, nah. We're going to do it. Let's do it, man. All of us. You got no choice. Wayne don't need the money. I would say Birdman don't need the money, but everybody could use some money. Most people that was going to benefit was Juvie, BG, just coming home from prison, Manny Fresh, you know what I mean? And Turk would definitely benefit from it. They were trying to do it allegedly without Turk. Nah, man, I'm not doing that. Juvie campaigned for him. Wayne calls the shots over there. They brought him on, did some shows. But at the time that they were doing these shows, Turk and BG was still having words throughout the media. I don't know if they ever had any friction or conflicts or words face to face. According to Turk, they didn't. But again, I wasn't there. I'm just going based off of what Turk said. What Turk elaborated on, if you will. There was never any problems on tour. Two of them, I seen them on stage or whatever, by each other. They all, Cash Money, they all got their arms around each other, whatever. So I never seen any sort of friction, any sort of problems. That there was a problem, but there was just some brotherly problems. There wasn't no beef. I want to unalive you type of ordeals. The thing about it is where I think Turk played himself. He just kept talking, man. Bro, if I was in Turk's corner, his circle, but don't say nothing. Quit going on Beehive. Quit going on these podcasts talking your shit. I understand you feel a certain type of way, but just get the money, get the bag, man. You know how much money these dudes was making? Especially an individual like Turk. Now, Wayne is going to make his money regardless. Wayne probably took a pay cut, or he got a bare minimum of what he would get out on his own touring. Juvie and them wasn't getting the money that Wayne was getting, I would guess. But guess what? It's all good. It's all relative. It's business. Just get your bread, bro. You ain't got to keep going through the media saying this and saying that. Why? BG wasn't really talking like that. BG would send his little shots, his little darts or whatever. But BG ain't on social media talking like that. And when he wasn't talking about you. Fans would send him messages when he's on live or ask him questions, and he might, allude to it very, very briefly. But Turk just kept talking. Turk feel as though, I'm going to talk my talk. But see, there are times and places for everything. And Turk was lucky to even be on the tour. Because at the end of the day, Cash Money Records, we want to see you all together. But guess what? If I'm going to go see a Cash Money tour, and I'm going to just keep it all the way real. If I'm going to go see Cash Money on tour, rather, and you got everybody else. You got BG. You got Juvenile. You got Wayne. You got Birdman. You got Manny Fresh. Fam, if there's no Turk, I would love for it to be Turk. But I'm still going to the show because Turk he don't move no needles. And I think that's the problem that Turk has. See, a lot of times Turk don't talk about how prior to him going to do those 8 years and 6 months or however many, 9 years that he did, how many video shoots he missed, how many studio sessions he missed, how many times he messed up the bag. He didn't really mess up the bag because they true hustlers. But how many times he was just absent? He doesn't talk about that. He just talks about what people didn't do for him. So who's gonna rock with you when you wasn't rocking with them? You get you a little money, 50,000, 100,000. You in the hood, you doing what you do, you getting high, whatever. And you supposed to be over here at 3:30, and you show up at 5:30, and they been shooting the video for 2. See, Turk is not telling that part of it. But he's quick to say, oh man, well, if you really my true fan, if you really, no. If you my true fan, your true fan's gonna tell you the truth, not just agree with you because they a Turk fan. And again, man, I like Turk. But I got to call a spade, and I got to call it for what it is. You was lucky to even be on the tour. But you kept this friction going on with BG. You should have just let it go. Shouldn't have said nothing else, but you just kept getting on social media. You just kept running it. You just kept, because you call it guerrilla marketing. But what you did was guerrilla marketed your way out of the bag. Yeah, you getting YouTube money. You ain't even got 100,000 subs yet. I'm a YouTuber. I got 14,000 subs. I know what I make. So therefore, knowing what I make, I don't know exactly what you make. But I know that the money that you bring in every month, 15,000, 12,000, 20 at best, and I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Bro, you could have been making that. I don't know what the contract that you all signed, but Birdman is not, he's a shrewd businessman. So I would go out on a limb and say that every show that you was doing, Turk, just my guess, this is just my, man, I know you was probably making 50,000. Ain't nobody signing you for 50,000, nigga. I don't even know if somebody's gonna sign you for 5,000 and do a club. 50, 60, 70, 80,000 a show, 100,000 a show, because you on the Cash Money Millionaire 30-year reunion tour that they know is gonna sell out. So for the sake of that, you couldn't be quiet. You just kept running it, kept running it, kept running it. Newsflash, YouTubers don't make that much money. I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you. Now you have some that excel, but what is that much money? If you're a YouTuber and you make 30, 40,000 a month, man, you damn near got 1 million subscribers. Definitely 500,000. You 500,000 strong with subscribers. But you have the opportunity to make all of this money on tour and just be quiet. You don't even gotta say nothing. BG wasn't talking like that. But you keep wanting to get on Beehive. Beehive's making all the money. I'm sure you ain't getting paid for being on Beehive's podcast. And if you are, it's very, very minute. It's just giving you a platform to promote yourself. The bag is being quiet and just being on tour, bro. That's your brother. You always say he's in my brothers. But you couldn't do it. Put your wife as your manager. She's talking shit. Respectfully, you talking shit. And all you doing is talking yourself all the way out of the circle to the point to where now you've denounced yourself. I'm no longer Cash Money. Guess what, man? You're going to need them niggas, man. You're going to need Cash Money Records. They don't need you, Turk. Everybody has a 15 minutes of fame, so now you really going at them. You talking crazy. I got paperwork. You insinuating that you're going to expose whatever it is that is to be potentially allegedly exposed. Respectfully. Somebody should have been pulled you to the side and said, hey, bro, I know you feel some type of way. Stay off the internet with this shit, man. But you have to do that. You have to be relevant, like Lil Boosie. No disrespect to Lil Boosie, but Lil Boosie has to do the Vlad interviews because he's not relevant in the rap game no more. Yeah, you can go do a show for 10, 15, 20,000, but guess what? You got to pay your goons that's with you. You got to pay hotels. You got to pay travel. You got to pay all the expenses that come along with doing these dates. You away from your family, your kids. You're doing 4 shows a week, but you're doing them in clubs. You're not doing them in arenas. You're not doing them in stadiums. You're not. No, man, you're making, 60,000, if you're lucky, 40,000, but you got to break your crew. And that's still good money. Let's not get it. And I respect the hustle. I respect the grind. But do you think at 40 years old, you still trying to do clubs and making 40,000? By the time taxes and your crew and you get 20, 15, that's still good. 4 times a week times 4 is 60,000. But at this point in your career, do you really, really desire to do that? You just doing it, you hustling, you doing what you got to do to make it. Wish I could do it. So salute to you, because if I could do it, I can walk away with 15,000 when it's all said and done 4 times a week. Man, I'm in that motherfucker. You heard me? So no disrespect to you whatsoever. But the thing about Turk, you're not on Boosie's level. So you got a record. You got an album. Joseph. Bro. One album. This is not back in the 90s, early 2000s. You're not going platinum. You're not selling 1, 2, 3, 4 million records. Yeah, you getting booked. You doing, and that's good. That's a great thing, but like, all you had to do was just keep your mouth shut, and you could have just been, you know what I mean? So now you mad at Juvie, you mad at everybody else because you feel as though they're not stepping up for you. Bro, how much, what more do you want? You suing a promotion company. Okay, I get it. You're saying, but it has nothing to do with Cash Money Records, but it still is a bad look because all you had to do was just be quiet and just collect the bag. But you feel as though, nah, man, they done slighted me for years. I'm still a member of this crew. I'm still a Cash Money millionaire. And they make me an outcast. They make it seem like I get it. I totally get what you're saying. But you got to think about, once again, what you did prior to going to jail, going to prison. You wasn't no perfect individual. You wasn't an individual that was on point at all times. So let it be what it is. That's why they don't fool with you, Turk. They don't rock with you. You keep calling them your brothers. To them, you're not their brother. They don't rock with you, bro. And I understand when you saying, that's why I denounced them. I'm no longer. You should have just kept quiet, didn't say anything. Now you would never, ever. Nobody can affiliate. You would never be affiliated with Cash Money Records again, man, because you can't keep your mouth shut. Part of me understands, because you have to be relevant. And the only way you can remain relevant is what? Through the internet. You have to talk. You have to say these things. That's what a lot of people don't understand about marketing, about, he calls it guerrilla marketing, yeah. So your fans, yeah, they ride your coattail. But in the celebrity world, nobody even knows you, Turk. In the world of celebrity, like, they know you, but they're not blowing your phone up for you to come and do a feature or whatever. So you got to get online and talk this crap so that you get views. Because YouTube, even though it doesn't pay what it will pay you to be on a stage, 20, 30, 40,000 a month, it's still 20, 30, 40,000 a month. And then you got your other ventures going on or whatever. So it behooves you to get on the microphone and talk crazy, man. But again, I just think that the people that's in your corner, they just steered you in the wrong direction. Now you didn't say what you said. You know, New Orleans cats, from what I understand, man, y'all not the most forgiving type individuals. Yes, Lord. Cardiac arrest. Shout out to Kevin Gates. You're not the most forgiving type of individuals, from what I've been able to entail. So you done said something, man, you got to stand on it. And I'm quite sure you're from New Orleans. You know. So you said what you said, yeah, it means that you really, really meant. So stand on it. You got a hot album right now. Guess what? It's your next album. Can you follow it up? My nigga, you can already be 50, dog. You played this all the way wrong. You played your cards wrong, man. Cash Money Millionaires, Cash Money Records is a freaking machine, dog. You're one man going against a machine. I know you call yourself Joseph. I get it. Genesis, that's my go-to. Genesis 37 through 50. That's my go-to when things are not going right for me in life, which is often. I go and I read that. But your story, you're not Joseph, fam. You're not. Your story has nothing to do with Joseph. Nobody tried to kill you. Nobody tried to set you to the side. Yeah, they set you to the side because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. See, the story of Joseph was just an innocent. His brothers was jealous of him because he was, they were just jealous. He was the youngest son or whatever, and they were just jealous, and nobody jealous of you, bro. So when you call yourself Joseph, it doesn't, people that understand the Bible and have read, it doesn't make sense whatsoever, bro. It doesn't. I don't know if you ever see this video. Probably not, because you'll never, in your mind, you're too big to look at something like this. So even if somebody sent it to you, but you're dubbing yourself as Joseph, but no, you're not. You're not. You're not Joseph. What are you going to do when this album's not hot anymore? So the money that you have made from the tour, the deposits that you were paid, the money that, from Joseph or whatever, I hope that you really, really, truthfully put that into something. Real estate, mutual funds, long-term investments or whatever. Because the hourglass is, your time is ticking. The music business is not the way that it once was. That's why Master P is not in the music business. ain't no money in the music business. Yeah, there's exceptions. Your Drakes, your Kendrick Lamars, your J. Cole's, but for your average individual, ain't no money in it. I just think, Turk, you made a very, very bad decision. And you got the verses coming up. Everybody's gonna be on stage but you, bro. You got everybody from Cash Money. You got the No Limit Soldiers, Master P, Mia X, Fiend, probably I don't know, Mac. All the people that's still alive and not in jail. We gonna miss Mystical, C Murder. You got Silk the Shocker, Beats by the Pound. You only get 20 songs per person. So I guess Cash Money looked at it like, man, we can come up with 20 songs that Turk was never a part of. He should have been on some of them, but guess what? He didn't show up to the video shoot. He didn't show up to the studio session, allegedly. You got Master P, P on his own can do 20 songs. This is epic. This is going to be a great, great night for hip-hop. Think about it. For all the No Limit Soldiers, for all the Cash Money millionaires out there, never seen a picture with Birdman and P, Slim and P. Never! Because it doesn't exist. You seen P and Juvenile, you seen P and Lil Wayne, a couple other, but you never seen P and Birdman on one stage. This is epic. It ain't even about the money. This is epic. And I'm sure these are shrewd businessmen, so I'm sure that they have some sort of agreement worked out to where it ain't gonna just be, okay, you give me $1 million, you give us $1 million. There's some ownership. There's something that's enticing them to do this, because neither one of them, they both got bread, but they're doing it for the culture, and they're doing it. But it goes beyond that, in my humble opinion. And for Turk to have to sit here and he can talk about he's gonna do a watch party and you got to pay to watch and see his reaction. There ain't nobody paying for that shit, Turk. Like, we trying to see these true No Limit Soldiers and these Cash Money millionaires, and they're not even going at each other, because the truth of the matter is they're all cool. They're all cool with each other. They're doing it for the culture, man. It's not even a competition. It couldn't be a fair competition, because it's a celebration. Everybody's not around for it to be a competition. And it's just too bad, Turk, that you talked your way out of it. I understand that you have to speak your piece. I understand that you got tired of just sitting back, not saying anything, but sometimes you got to know when to play your role, man. And Turk, you talked yourself out of a lot of millions, man. But hey, it's like you said, you don't need Cash Money. You know what I mean? What's a Cash Money concert without you? Selling out. With you, they're going to sell out. Without you, they're going to sell out. And the only one that's missing out is you, unfortunately, man. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Subscribe. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. Real Kids TV. Shout out to Turk. Shout out to the No Limit Soldiers and the Cash Money millionaires. Can't wait to see it, man.